Hi everyone, good morning from here, and I am making a video for you to see how you can build a WordPress website on Amazon EC2 RDS and S3. WordPress powers a good percentage of all the websites globally, and it would be great if you can do that on the cloud because deploying a WordPress website on the cloud offers you great scalability. So let's get right to it. So first thing first, we're going to launch an EC2 instances. So I'll just go home to AWS and click on EC2, then click on launch instance. And all the things I'm doing here, I'm gonna give it the name WordPress. So I'm gonna call it WordPress. And it's going to be an Ubuntu instance. It's good. Ubuntu 24 is good. T2 Micro is good. I'll use the key pair that I had used before, which is the dongle key. If you missed that video, let me know. I'll point you to it in terms of key pair and also for security key because I had created this in a previous video. I'll use all traffic SG. For the size of the server, I'm going to do 10 gig. And I guess that's all I need. Then I'll set up my EC2 instance. And while that is launching, I'll just come back here, go to RDS. I want to create an RDS database. RDS is Amazon's relational database system. So let's see if I can get to the our managed relational database service. Yeah. So you may either see this screen or the other screen that you saw. But either ways, click on create database. Standard create should be fine. Click on my SQL and leave most of it as is. In the template, make sure you use free tier so they don't charge you because RDS can be expensive. Make sure you use the free tier so they don't charge you a lot of money. For the database identifier, I'm gonna type WordPress database, and then for my username and password, I'm going to do WordPress, and then uh, it's fine. And the password, I'm going to say WordPress123. WordPress123, and then capital W WordPress123. And it's a T3 micro. T3 micro is good. 20 gig of storage is good. I don't need to connect to an EC2 compute resource, but I'm going to use the default VPC. I need to give it public access just in case I need to troubleshoot. And then if I'm going to use the security group, I'll use the same security group as in the AWS instance I was creating. So I would remove the default and leave it at the all traffic SG. I don't have a preference for availability zone. And then for password, I'll use password and IAM database authentication because I may want to attach an IAM role to it. And looking at giving it a second look, I guess we're good to go. So I'm gonna create that database as well. Now I believe my EC2 instance should be ready. I'm gonna close these notices. So let's refresh. It's still initializing. So while I'm at it, I'm going to go to services, then S3 and create an S3 bucket. Based on the documentation I did put here, S3, the name of your S3 bucket has to be unique. It has to be unique. So go to your S3 dashboard, click on create bucket, but give it a unique name. So I'll just click on create bucket, and my unique name is Arnold-WordPress. I believe that combination is unique enough. Keep everything. No, remember to remove the tick that says block all public access. For now, we don't want to block public access because we need it for this demo. But ideally, if it's in production, you may have to do some more configuration in terms of what can be accessed and what cannot be accessed. So I've turned that off and I've acknowledged that. Make sure you click on this, else you'll be able to create a bucket. Bucket versioning, I'll disable that for now as well. After this, I'll click on create bucket, and I believe my EC2 instance should be ready to go now. Yeah, 2 of 2 is passed, so I'll click on the WordPress, click on connect, connect using EC2 instance, click on connect, and let's see where my terminal gets me. The terminal is coming up, and what I'm going to do is all of the commands that are listed in here, I'm going to run all of them so that I can configure Apache. Apache is a web server, and I can configure PHP. PHP is a programming language that WordPress is written in. So yeah, let's do this. So we have to upgrade. Yep, and then the next one. Oh, this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm just going to pause the recording. I'll come back once it is done. The installation, the upgrade is done. Then I can copy the next command, which is to install Apache 2. This shouldn't take so much time. So I'll copy that and paste here. And then while I go ahead and copy this as I prepare to run the installation of PHP. So this is done. Then I go ahead and run the third command. And then once that is installed, I would restart Apache to apply all of my changes. PHP is still installing. So to configure our RDS, we are going to need our endpoint. And that endpoint, once our RDS has been installed, we will find it. Clicking here, we will find it in here. This is our endpoint. WordPress, that database, this is going to be our endpoint. So take note of this, and let's complete our installation. The next thing, let's restart this. It's going to take a second. And yep, this is good. The next thing, after doing all of this, visit your IP address on your browser to be sure Apache is correctly installed. So I'm gonna just come here and grab my public DNS. I will be using my public DNS. You could probably use your public IPv4 address, but I prefer to use the DNS because the DNS has a little bit of some pretty name and pretty URL instead of just numbers, but both of them do the same thing. So I'll just paste this here. And as you can see, it shows that my Apache is installed, and eventually this URL is what will become our website URL. So once that is done, let's move in. We have done all of the things we need to do here. So let us now create a database using the MySQL command on our EC2 instance. So I'm just going to copy this too. I'm going to copy these two commands. So do I get update and install MySQL-y. So I'm just going to come back, paste this. But I can close this for now. I don't need it. So while this is working, let's go copy the next command. So now once MySQL is done installing, we need to connect to it. And we need to connect to it using our endpoints. We need to connect to it using our endpoint. So I'm going to copy this, put it in my Sublime text editor. I'm going to put it in my text editor because I need to replace this with my endpoint. So I'm just going to come here and grab that endpoint, click on this to copy this and paste this here. And then this basically MySQL -h is the host where am I connecting to. -use is the -use the username, which is WordPress. -p is going to prompt you for the password. So let's go ahead with that. Okay, and then paste this, press enter. It's going to ask for the password, which is WordPress 123, which was the password I entered. All right, I'm connected. So the next thing I want to do is copy this command, create database WordPress. Create database WordPress. Yep, this works. And then I can copy the exit command. So I can go back to my major terminal. So before now it was my SQL terminal. Now it's back to my Ubuntu terminal. That's what I meant. All right. So let's go back and configure WordPress. WordPress is our website content management system. So I'm going to copy this one after the other so that I'm not modeling things up, and then copy the next one, then copy the next one. These are just for me to install WordPress. I'm downloading and I'm untarring the source code for my WordPress content management system. And then I am now finalizing my installation of WordPress on my Ubuntu server on the EC2 instance. um it's unzipping, so each of these command has, this is to go in the folder where I would install the WordPress website. Then this is to download the WordPress source code. This is to unzip. tar.gz is just like what zip is to Windows, and when you have a zip file in Windows, you have to unzip. So this, you download the tar, this is to unzip, so this is to untar it. Yep. So this is done. So I'm going to change, I'm going to paste this command, and then I'm going to remove excess files. That's what this command does, remove the excess files. And I am done. That's all. Then the next thing for me would be to set the proper permissions so that I don't face an error when I'm trying to use the file system while I'm developing my website. So the next thing I want to copy is this command, rename. I want to rename this file wp config sample to wp config, and that's, if I do an ls-l, you'd see that there's a file here called wp config sample. By the time I paste my command and I do an ls-l again, you'd see that it's no longer wp config sample, it is now wp config. The sample is gone. That's just basically the command I copied. Now I'm going to have to edit the config file, and I'm going to put in my database parameters so that WordPress will be able to read my database. So I'm just going to paste this here. No, oh, sorry about that. I've copied the wrong commands. I was supposed to copy the nano command. So nano wp-config.php. Nano is like a text editor for Linux. Nano is a text editor for Linux. What Notepad is to Windows, that's what Nano is to Linux. So these are the files that I'm going to change. I'm going to modify. So database name, we already know it's WordPress. Everything is, so the database name is WordPress. If you are following the command the way I did it, you should have, the username should also be WordPress, and the password, like I mentioned, is WordPress 123. WordPress 123, and then the host name is my endpoint. That's my RDS database endpoint, this one, which I'm going to copy again and then come in here and delete what is here. The nano does not use your mouse, so you can't use your mouse to say, I want to click on this. You have to use your arrow keys, down, up, down, up. That's how it works. So sorry about that. Linux is just a bit more complex than Windows. And then once you are done to exit, your command to exit will be here. So if you are using a Windows, it should be a Control X. If you are using a Mac, it should also be a Control X. So Control X, then type a Y for yes if you want to save it. And then what file name do you want to save it as? Because the name is already here, I don't need to do anything. I just press enter. So press enter. I have modified that file. And once I have done that, the next thing is for me to do is to, I already created my AWS S3 bucket. Now the next thing for me to do is to complete my WordPress installation. So I'll copy my web URL again, my server URL again, and navigate to my server instance, which is this, my public IPv4 DNS, the one we used to view Apache in previous time. Press enter, and then set. We're ready to install. So it's asking for the language. English is good. then give it a name. For me, I'm just gonna call it my online resume. My username, like I said, I want to use WordPress for everything, and my password will be the same as what I used in my RDS database, just for for the sake of this tutorial. You should use different passwords. Yeah, and then once I'm done, I click on install WordPress. Oh, it did ask me for my email address. Sorry about that. I have to confirm sorry, I put something else. My email is another.kinyara@nresolution.com. Install WordPress. And WordPress is installing. Cool. I keep receiving this notification about the WordPress 123 as password, but it's fine. Now that WordPress has been installed, let me log in. Cool. And remember my username, WordPress, and my password, WordPress 123. Login. Welcome. Now you have created your WordPress website. If you can get this, then you have your WordPress website. Copy your DNS again, open a new tab and paste this here. You will see your home page. So you see, we have our WordPress website. So we're going to go download a theme. A theme is like a template. A WordPress theme is like a template that helps us develop our website very fast. We're going to use a free theme, but ideally we should use a paid theme if we want all the benefits. But let's go ahead and then following this, let's go install the S3 plugin. So go into plugins, click on add new, then copy this plugin. Copy this plugin. So I'm just going to come to the dashboard. This dashboard, the one that is with /wp admin. Go to plugins and then add new plugin. And then search plugins, paste this. It should come up. This one, WP Offload Media Lite by Delicious Brains, and then install. Once I'm done installing, it's going to ask me to activate. And then once I have activated, this is the plugin in right here. Then I'll go to settings. It's going to ask what do I want to connect to? Amazon S3, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud. I used Amazon S3, as you can see. I used Amazon S3 bucket with a bucket called Anu WordPress. So it's going to ask for my credentials. There are 3 ways to put in your credentials: by defining it in the config.php that we put in our database configuration, or we can put it with IAM rules, or we can just put it directly in here. So I'm going to put it directly in here. It's risky, like you see. It's not recommended. It's risky, but it's the easiest. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to put it, and then I'm going to copy my secret access key, paste it here. I'm going to revoke this credential once I'm done. But if you are wondering where I got these keys from, just go to services, then IAM, and then you'll see, go to users, then the user that you have, mine is Kinyara, then go to security credentials, then click on create access key. That's if you don't have one already. I have one, and that's what I use. But then create access key, it's going to ask you, do you want to go on the command line interface? So click on the command line interface, click I understand, click next, and then your access key will be created. And that's what I just did here. I put in my username and password here. Don't worry about it. I'm going to revoke this as I upload this video to YouTube. So save and continue. I'm going to browse existing bucket. My bucket is Anu WordPress. So don't enter bucket and just browse the existing bucket, Anu WordPress, save selected bucket. And I guess that's all for now. They said still keep block all these disabled. And as you can see, I have connected my bucket directly. So you see it's successfully connected. I can keep checking. See, it's ready to upload media. It's saying, do you want to remove local media? I'm not sure about that yet, so I'm just gonna leave this as it is. The prefix to my bucket part. This is also good. Add month and year, and that's all. So I'm done with the bucket. The next thing I want to do is to now make my resume look resume. If there's an English word like that. So I'll go back, I'll go to appearance, and then I'll go to add new theme. As the thing says here, go to, I'm going to verify this setup later, but let's go. I'm going to install the Astra WordPress theme. So click on appearance, then search for Astra. Appearance, then you see the list of things, search for Astra. So the Astra is here already, but just so in case you're watching this 2 years from now and they have changed a lot of things, just type Astra here and it shows up. Astra shows up already. Let me search again. Astra. Sorry. Yeah, shows up here. Then I would install. Once I'm done, I would activate. Once I have activated, it's going to bring me to this part, or just go to your sidebar, you'd see Astra. Once you go to Astra, go to dashboard, then you'd see your team. But I want to get started with starter template. So click on get started with starter template. It's activating it for me, and then it's going to move me somewhere else. So do I want to build with AI for now? No, I'm just going to use my classic starter template and wait for it to load a bit. Then from here, I search for CV. CV, give it a few seconds to load. Then I come here, I search for CV. I press enter. CV, press enter. Search CV again, press enter. You'd see a lot of resume themes. I don't know which one you'd like to use. I can use this. So I'll click on this, Creative CV. Click on Creative CV. It will ask you to upload your site logo if you have one or something. But since this is just a tutorial, I'll just leave it and click on Continue. I don't think I want any one of these ones. Maybe a video player, but maybe not. So I'm just gonna skip this step. It's asking for my name. This is my name. This is my work email. Because they want your details to send you some marketing or help documents. So for the sake of this video, I am a beginner, not intermediate or expert. So I click on beginner. I'm building a website for myself. I don't want to share non-sensitive data, and then submit. I click on submit and build my website. Then it keeps going on. So the other thing I now want to do is to come here to verify that my S3 is properly done. I'll go to my WordPress dashboard again, click on media, then add new media file. Then I'll upload any document and go see it in my S3 bucket. Right now, I think this should have populated in my S3. See, it has populated. It was empty before. Now there's WP contents 2023, 2024. And this is what I have so far. So I am going to go ahead and upload something. So I'll go to, oh, here my theme is done. So now I can visit my website. See, I have a website. It has completely transformed from what it was before. Then you see this. So I could also, if I want to edit this, change this to my name or something, I'll just go to edit page, click on edit page from here. Then I can now close this. Then I can make my edits or a lot of edits that I want to make. I want to change this California to University of Liverpool or University of Toronto experience and everything. Once you are done, you click on save, then you go back home. So I'm just going to go back home. I'll click on the WordPress, leave the site, and then here, I visit my site again, sorry. So click on this and you can switch to your site. Yeah, then I can visit my dashboard as well. let's go post the media, and then I'll be done with this video. So these are the media items I have right now. So I'm just going to add new media file, select the file, and for me it will be this ESET. It's my IT certification, but let me cancel. As of now, if I go to our new WordPress or WP content uploads 2024-08, you see I don't have my ESET there, right? So let me upload the ESET now, and you'd see what's gonna happen. I click on this, it's uploading, my ESET is in there, and then I'm gonna go back and just go through the round 08, and you see my ESET now shows up there. So with this, we have been able to successfully set up our website on Amazon EC2 RDS and S3. The last thing I would like us to do before we go is to clean up, because you don't want to keep costs. AWS can be expensive, but there are also additional configuration. If you want to make it a professional site, you set up a domain name like yourname.com, set up SSL for security, then adding it a bit. I also wanted to mention that this WordPress, one of the strengths of WordPress is that it is a what you see is what you get. So if I click on edit page, I can easily make a change. So I can say my name is Fano Kinyera, and then see, I don't have it. It edits the website as if you're editing Microsoft Word. That being said, let's go ahead and do cleanup. We're done with this. So after this order, we're gonna clean up. We're going to terminate our EC2 instances. We're going to terminate our RDS. We'll empty all the content of our S3 bucket, and we'll delete our S3 bucket. So yeah, that's all for now. So I'm just going to go back home. We're going to go back home. So you'll see how this looks like. I'll click on this visit site, and then from here. I'm going to end my video with this view. So delete the EC2 instance, go to instance state, then terminate, because I'm done. I want to clean up. Now I'm shutting down. The next thing, now I can close this as well. The next thing I want to do is delete my RDS database. So click on this, actions, delete. I'm deleting my database, because if you don't delete, they may start charging you per month. So uncheck final snapshot and retain automated backups. We don't want the backups, and we acknowledge that upon this, everything will be gone. Then type delete me. So it says type delete me, and then great. Deleting. Now the RDS is deleting. We have terminated the EC2. RDS is deleting. Then the bucket, we can now go back to the bucket, click on this bucket and empty. For S3, you have to empty the bucket first before you delete the bucket. Empty is basically you deleting all the contents of the bucket. So here it says type permanently delete and empty. Now I've emptied the bucket. I click on exit. Now I can click on it and delete the bucket. And it says enter the name of the bucket and move WordPress. With this, I have successfully set up a website, an online resume, and I have successfully deleted it. If I refresh this page now, well, this is the old view. But if I refresh, see it's gone because I stopped the server. Thank you for following me in this journey to build a WordPress website on Amazon EC2, RDS, and S3. I hope you liked this video, and stay tuned for the next videos. Remember to subscribe to this page, to this channel, for more insightful products, and I will see you soon via a new video. Bye-bye.